Today is Yoga for Anxiety, and this week's theme is self-study. Self-study, study of oneself and spiritual study. So, as we move through today, looking inward at what is happening within, and thinking about spiritual study. So spiritual study doesn't have to be huge. Just think of your connection to something other than yourself. So maybe that's nature, maybe you already have a spiritual practice. So just starting to think about your movement, your existence, everything that we're doing being somewhat of a connection to something else. So we're going to start on our backs. Landing on the mat. Starting to find our breath. So with anxious feelings, sometimes looking inward can make us a little more anxious because we're looking in and we're noticing the things that we're feeling. We're noticing the stressful thoughts, the stressful feelings. And they can sometimes spiral. They can start, when you start to look at them, they can start to spiral out of control. So I gently invite you to start with the physical. So just start with what you feel in your body. What do you feel in your feet, your hips, your shoulders? Can you find sensation of your head on the ground? And then what do you feel in relation to your breath? Can you start to soften your breath? Start to soften all the muscles involved in breathing. So really soften everything in our torso, the sides of our ribs, underneath our ribs, up in our chest. Start to let our shoulders fall a little more to the ground. And then think about what is your connection. So studying, self-study is getting to know what your connection is to something else. How connected are you to the members of your family unit? How connected are you to people outside of your family unit? And then how connected are you to the world around you, nature, the sun, the birds singing in springtime? Are you able to notice the fresh air when you step outside? And then we're gently going to practice breath, just slowly drawing our breath in all the way to the bottom of our lungs. Exhaling all the breath out. Nice and slow and gentle. And then adding a gentle pause, a slight, gentle, soft pause. Breathing all the way in. Slowly all the way out. And then add a gentle pause. What does it feel like to experience no air in the body? And then we'll begin some gentle movements. So take your knees side to side. Start to feel your hips and your low back. We're going to warm up the core. So take the feet up to the ceiling. Start to press your hips down into the ground. Start to fire up stomach muscles. We're going to inhale as we lower the right foot down towards the ground. Exhale as we bring it back up. Inhale as we lower the left. Exhale as we bring it back up. starting to move with your breath. Noticing if your back's trying to do all the work, don't lower your foot so low towards the ground. Try to keep the heat in the stomach muscles. Complete a 4 round. And then bring your knees in. Give yourself a little hug. Roll on over to a side and come on up to a tabletop position. Moving and breathing in tabletop. Maybe adding in that gentle pause. So inhale forward. Exhale back. Possibly a gentle pause. And then come on up to tabletop. Set up your base so you're nice and stable. And we're going to take one arm in a big giant circle and then the other. Nice slow breath. Mindfully placing our hand on the mat. Think about all the ways the shoulder can move and support you. And then come on up to tabletop. Steady base, lifting up out of the ground with the shoulders. Take the right leg out. Active and strong. Press through the heel. Lift active. Take the right leg past the left. We're going to inhale here and exhale as we draw the heel towards the hand. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze closed. Try not to move anything else. So nice and stable, only moving the leg. If you'd like to bring your left hand out for support, a little extra balance. Watch for lots of swaying in the back, lots of movement in the back. Lower the toes, press through the heel, static or little pulses. Lower the right leg, set up, left leg out, nice and strong. Active through the heel. Take the left leg past the right. Inhale here. Exhale, slowly bring the left foot towards the left hand. Maybe adding in that gentle pause throughout practice. Seeing how it feels for you. What do you feel? What do you notice? Bring the toes down, press through the heel, static or pulses. And then take the left knee down, tuck the toes, down dog. Find a down dog and warm it up in whatever way feels right for you. We're going to move and breathe in down dog, and if this becomes too much for you at any time, move back to tabletop child's pose. So we're going to move and breathe from down dog. Imagine you're moving from the tailbone, so engaging strongly through the chest, through the stomach. Pull the tailbone forward. Inhale, exhale, pull the tailbone up and back. Inhale, forward, high plank. Exhale, up and back. Find a steady down dog and let go. Strong in your shoulders, active. Pull yourself up out of the ground, little bend in the knees. Without moving the hips or anything else, slowly lift the right heel towards the sky. Press through the right heel. Breathe. And then step through low lunge. Find your blocks and we'll move and breathe in low lunge. Inhaling forward, bent leg, exhaling towards straight. Move with your breath, maybe adding that gentle pause. Moving with your own holding patterns. So, moving your knee, moving the weight around on your foot, whatever feels right for your own holding patterns. Moving with your breath. Inhale forward. Exhale towards straight. Landing in a low lunge, strong low lunge. So pulling up out of this right leg. Strong all the way to the right hip. Strong through the left heel. Hold here. If you have your blocks, you're going to move them just ahead of your foot. We're going to bring the weight onto the right leg, trying to keep the left leg strong. Peel the left leg towards the glute. Slowly back. Move with your breath. Inhale forward. Exhale nice and slow and with control back. Maybe even adding in that gentle pause. And what happens in that gentle pause? Look inward. You start to contemplate the next move. Are you staying with your muscles, with how it feels in your body? And then find a low lunge. Deep breath in as we rise up, high lunge. Hold a high lunge, nice steady base. Make sure you're nice and balanced. Maybe you need to pop that back leg in. Nice and strong. We're going to inhale here. Exhale, open up and twist. Bring your right arm round. Inhale. Exhale, open up and twist. Trying to keep our base steady. So we're moving from above the rib cage. Moving from this space. Bring it back, high lunge. Frame out the front foot. Right foot meets left, high plank. Hold here. Breathe. Lift up out of the ground with your chest. Strong in the arms, gentle in the wrists. Lift up. Don't dump into the joints. Strong and active. Breathe. And then back to down dog. What can you let go of? Turn your world upside down. Get a really strong base in your arms and shoulders, pulling up out of the ground. Little soft bend in the knees. Without moving anything else, slowly draw left heel towards the ceiling. And breathe. Press through the left heel, strong and active. And then step through, low lunge. Move with your breath. Inhale forward, exhale towards straight. Moving with your own holding patterns, moving through, feeling your legs. And maybe adding that gentle pause at the end of the exhale and really feeling what happens when you experience a gentle pause. Find a low lunge, strong. So you're pulling up out of the ground with this left leg all the way active to the left hip. Strong core, strong through the right heel. And if you have the blocks, move them a little bit further forward. We're going to inhale, pull right heel towards glute. Exhale, slowly come back. Inhale forward. Exhale, slow and with control. Landing super light. We're not just flopping this leg around. We're pulling the heel towards the glute and then lowering the leg. With control, find your muscles. Find that mind-body connection. Find a low lunge, nice and strong. Deep breath in as we rise up, high lunge, hold. Find a steady base, strong legs. Inhale, center, exhale, twist, open to the left. Inhale back. Legs strong and still. Moving from the rib cage. Come back to high lunge. Frame out the front foot. Left foot meets right. This time we're going to work through forearm plank. So slowly lowering the elbows down with control if this is in your wheelhouse, or one at a time, nice and slow. Holding forearm plank. Lift up out of the ground. Really pull your chest up out of the ground. Feel like you're pulling your elbows and your hands apart without letting them move. Breathe and hold. This is enough. Stay here. If your shoulders are strong, we're going to bring our nose a little bit further forward and a little bit further back. Nice and slow and with control. Paying attention to what is within, knowing your limits. If you are buckling through the shoulders, this is too much. And then wherever you're at, slowly lower the knees and find a child's pose. Slowly make your way to down dog. Inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, step through low lunge. Find a low lunge, steady and strong. Lift on up, high lunge. Inhale deep. Breathe and hold. This time we're going to make our movement a little bit bigger. So hands Can be out to the sides to help with balance, or on your hips to keep an eye on the hips, or you can bring them to prayer. Lots of choices. Come forward on the right leg. Lots of strength in the right leg, maybe popping the back leg in. We're going to pop up to warrior 3, pressing through the left heel and slowly lower down. Inhale, pop up, pull the heel up. Exhale, lower slow. Maybe adding in that gentle pause at the end of the exhale and noticing what happens. Land in a high lunge. Find a steady base. Find your center and your grounding. Frame out the front foot. Right foot meets left. Down dog. Find your breath. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step through low lunge. Inhale, rise up. Deep breath in. High lunge. Hold it here. Weight onto the left leg. Start to inhale, pull the right leg up. Exhale, lower. Find your breath. Find your focus. Inside. If you're not paying attention to what you're doing, you're going to wobble, you're going to fall. It doesn't matter how high this right leg gets, it's all about being in tune and using the muscles. Land in a high lunge. Frame out the front foot. Left foot meets right. Down dog. Breathe. Inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, step through. This time, drop the back foot and come on up, warrior 2 legs. Find your base. So wiggle around until you have a solid, steady base. Both legs active inside and outside. So you're pulling the knee open on the right and also holding it stable with the muscles of the outer leg. Hold. Breathe. Inhale, lift, lengthen. Exhale, open. Pull the knee down. Slow and with control. And then inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, warrior 2. Reach up, open up right side body. Hold a warrior 2. We're going to take our hands like we're pushing the wall away from us, moving from the rib cage. We're going to push our shoulders over and then back. Over, back. Legs still, legs strong. Moving from the rib cage. Hold the warrior 2. Pivot on the back foot. Frame out the front. Right foot meets left, high plank. Breathe and hold. Or meet me in down dog if you're done. Breathe. Lengthen. Pull up out of your wrists. Pull up out of your elbows, nice and strong in the chest. And then down dog. Inhale, lift left leg high, step through. Lower the back foot. Come on up, warrior two legs. Find your steady, strong, solid base. Both sides of the left leg are active, really supporting the open knee with the outside of the leg. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Hold the warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior, straight leg, reverse triangle. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, exhale. Open up left side body. Hold the warrior two, hands push the walls, and we move the rib cage back and forth, back and forth. Slow, with control, steady base. Hold the warrior two, pivot on the back foot, frame out the front. Left foot meets right, high plank, this time lower arm down to the forearms, nice and slow, careful. Hold the forearm plank. Lift up out of the ground, chest very strong. Breathe. And then lower down, child's pose. What can you let go of? Slowly lower all the way down to crocodile pose. One hand on top of the other, forehead down. Shimmy the hips. What can you let go of? We're going to move and breathe, strengthening our back. So hands are for balance wherever is comfortable. Inhale, lift the shoulders, and exhale, lower. So to fire up the backs of the legs, the glutes, and the back all evenly. So notice if the glutes, when you're asked to squeeze them, over squeeze and do all the work. Try to get even use and take the strain out of the neck by thinking about lifting the shoulders and engaging and lengthening through the spine. Maybe starting to lift the toes. Come on up to where you can find a comfortable space to hold. Comfortable means you're using your muscles, you're strong and active, but you can breathe steady. Hold a steady breath, hold your challenge. Breathe and hold. What happens when you're asked to stay in a slightly more difficult pose? Engaging, breathe. And then bring it on down to crocodile pose. Shimmy the hips and let go. Maybe taking a couple of deep breaths in and sighing out of the mouth, really letting go. Slowly make your way back to child's pose. And then up to down dog. We're going to move a little bit more fast-paced with our breath. And challenge is to stay connected to what you're doing and not just flop around in space. So take a deep breath in. Exhale, step forward, left foot, right foot, squat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower, step back. Down dog. So inhale and then exhale, step forward, left foot, right foot. Inhale, lift, pressing through the heels. Exhale, lower, step back, down dog. Inhale, forward. Inhale, exhale, forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back. Step back. Down dog. Other side. Take an inhale, exhale, right foot, left foot. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Step back. Down dog. Inhale, exhale, step forward. Inhale. Exhale, step back, down dog. Take an inhale, exhale forward, inhale lift, exhale lower, step back, down dog. Hold. Look towards your hands, step forward, Yogi Squat. Blocks are optional to help you here. Find your Yogi Squat that's strong and active for you. So, not just hanging out, but lifting up out of the ground using your muscles. Maybe you want to use the block just to take a little weight off the legs. Pull the knees open with the muscles of the legs. Take a deep inhale, rise up, legs wide. Exhale, purr to heart. Hold here. Slowly step the feet in to underneath the hips. And we're going to move and breathe full body. Inhale, lift. Maybe lifting the heels. Exhale, lower, baby chair. Slow with control. Find your baby chair. Solid base. So legs feel like they're squeezing the knees together and pulling them apart at the same time. Strong legs. Soft low back. Soft shoulders and face. Breathe. See if you can bring the weight onto the right leg and peel up the left heel without moving the hips too much. Maybe you need to keep an eye on them with your hands. And then see if you can peel the left knee up and cross left heel above right knee. Sink it down, half chair. Maybe you feel pretty solid in this option to take little tiny half squats, pulses here. Keep your focus, steady breath. Hold. Slowly unravel and lower left leg. Come to mountain pose. Sit it down to chair. Find a steady base first, so knees pulling in and out. Lots of strength, inner legs and outer legs. Weight onto the left, peel up the right heel, peel up the right knee, and cross right ankle above left knee. Sink the hips. Option to stay here or little pulses. Breathe. Hold. Slowly unravel with control. Lower the right leg, come to mountain pose. So find a solid mountain pose. Soft knees and ankles and hips. Now we're going to see if we can imagine we're pressing down through the heels, getting more and more active, and then pulling up out of the ground. So see if you can get lots and lots of strength in your legs. We're going to take index fingers out, every other finger interlaced. Take your hands over your head. Reach up long and tall through the ribs first, and then take a little tilt over to the right side. Trying not to move feet and hips, knees. Breathe, lengthen. Slowly come back to neutral. Undo your fingers. Interlace the uncomfortable way with index fingers still out. Hold. Take your hands up overhead. Lengthen through the rib cage first. And then tilt over to the left. Little tiny tilt. Lengthening right side. Lift up through the hands. Breathe. Take the tension out of the neck. Back to neutral, nice and slow, hands to prayer, heart space. Invitation to close the eyes. Maybe even bow the head down to this space. Our center space, our spiritual guide, our own inner wisdom. And then inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, swan diving it down. Taking a forward fold and letting go. So we'll let all the tension out of the head, out of the neck. Maybe soft bend in the knees and letting your stomach find your thighs. Breathe. Option to go straight down to a seated position and sit for meditation, or if you'd like to play with crow, we're going to bring our hands in front of our shoulders. So bend your knees even more so you can find your hands in front of your shoulders. Bend in the elbows. Your knees are going to try and come up and find the backs of your upper arms. The higher up you get them, the easier. Your arms make a little ledge. Your toes are on the ground. Now, that same pulling out of the ground that we've been doing with our chest, pull up, 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 up. Get stronger in the chest, and then your toes begin to float off the ground. Breathe. Wherever you're at, slowly lower to a seated pose. So come to easy seat. And take a moment in easy seat before we go down. So find your hips on the ground. And notice what is present. Notice what is present emotionally, physically. Notice how your breath is. Notice how your shoulders feel. perhaps even closing your eyes and looking within. So what do you feel? What do you notice when you look in? And if the thoughts are swirling and the energy is swirling, you're having a particularly anxious day, what do you do when you look in? Is that little inner critic popping up? Perhaps judging the thoughts, arguing with the thoughts, fighting the thoughts. And then we'll gently bring our focus back to our physical body sensation. So we're going to take our index finger to our thumb and we're going to rub them together, finding sensation on our index finger and thumb. And then to the middle finger and thumb, little circles, trying to feel as much sensation as you possibly can in your finger and thumb, thinking about only the finger and the thumb and what you can feel here. And then ring finger, and then little finger, and then begin, I am here now, touching one finger at a time to your thumb. I am here now, slowing it down each time. Seeing how long you can repeat the sentence before the thoughts drag you away. And just challenging yourself to gently start over. And then gently make a decision about where you would like to be for your resting pose. So, traditionally it's taken in Shavasana, laying down straight like a corpse on the ground. However, if that is not the most comfortable position for you to be in, choose another position. We want our resting pose and our meditation to be as close to a corpse as possible. So, as close to soft and not fighting existence. So come on down to your back or wherever you've chosen to be. Start to land on the ground and start to look in. What is different from when we started the class? So as you start to land on the ground, start to feel your body landing on the ground. Notice, check in on the feet. Check in on the legs. Notice how the hips feel, the glutes, the stomach muscles, the shoulders, the neck, and then the face. We're going to work through a squeeze and release. So one of the ways to encourage softness in the body is to teach the body what the opposite is. So get as tight as possible so that when we release, we can feel what not being tight is. And sometimes we have a disconnect between sensation and our bodies. So we're going to start with the feet, and we're going to squeeze the muscles of the toes and feet as tight as we can, thinking about how tight we can get our feet, how much tension we can really pull into our feet. Squeeze them tight, 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 tight. And then take a deep breath in and release. Squeeze the feet and the legs. Squeezing the legs. Bring as many muscles into the game as you can. Tighten, 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 tighten. Squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. Take a deep breath in. And then release into the ground. Squeeze the feet, the legs, the glutes. Squeeze across the stomach. Squeeze tight, 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 tight. Tighter, 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 tighter. Squeeze as tight as you can. Bring as much tension into the lower body as you possibly can. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Take a deep breath in, squeezing harder, and then with the exhale, release suddenly into the ground, allowing the ground to support you. Squeeze tight, tight, tight. Feet, legs, stomach, glutes, arms. Make fists. Squeeze tight, 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 tight. Squeeze a little tighter. Make your hands a little stronger. And then take a deep breath in. And with the exhale, release and suddenly let go. Squeeze tight from the feet all the way up the legs. Squeeze the arms, make fists. Squeeze the shoulders, the chest, the neck. Make the face really, really, really tight. Squeeze all the muscles of the face, as many muscles as you can find. Squeeze tight, 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 tight. Squeeze really, really, really hard as you breathe in, and then release into the ground with the exhale. Soften the tongue and the mouth. Soften control of the breath. Can you allow the ground to support you a little more? Letting go, releasing. And you allow your shoulders to drop a little heavier. Release the burden of your shoulders. And we often think of our spiritual center, our connection, being in the heart center, the metaphysical heart chest center. I'm going to think about the experience of a beautiful sunrise or sunset, or perhaps some other scene in nature that you felt from this space. The kind of scene where you felt like your breath was taken away from you. It's just an all in awe experience, awesome experience. It was so beautiful, you felt like it would just suddenly became a part of you. We have these moments in time when we do stop and everything else stops, and we just become one with whatever it is we're experiencing. Perhaps it's these tiny glimpses where we see a baby giggle and we can't help but giggle with the baby, even if we don't know the baby. Or a puppy greeting us at the door. And even though our day might have been terrible, the puppy's so excited to see us, and that loving look in their eyes makes us drop everything. And even for just a teeny moment, we experience nothing else but a connection to that moment. This is the connection we're looking for. One of those moments in time that you can bring a visual into your mind and start to think about the connection. So start to think about it coming from your heart chest, heart center. And perhaps giving it that sensation of connection, that sensation of being connected, experiencing a connection to something outside of yourself. Maybe giving it a color or temperature, something that you can imagine slowly starting to spread. As if you're allowing this connection to reach out and warm the rest of your body. we're just trying to have a connection, a visual experience. So if you're prone to running warm and warm is unappealing to you, feel free to add a cooling sensation that reaches out throughout the body. So just imagine that spreading slowly, as if it's recharging and touching every cell in your body, slowly, slowly, slowly. Thinking about your body being not parts, but a whole unit. And every cell is gently recharged by this sense of connection. And every time the mind pulls you off the mat, or something in your environment distracts you, just gently return to making the visual of that moment and bringing the awareness to where it is felt and allowing it to spread. You have the time to spend practicing bringing yourself back to that connection and allowing it to spread. Please take all the time that you need. You need to finish up at the 60-minute mark. You're going to slowly bring some gentle awareness to the fingers and the toes and gentle movements to the physical body. And then make your way over to a fetal position, whatever side is calling to you. And from this fetal position, this closed in, protective pose, imagine being wrapped in that bubble of connection and compassion. This connection feeling is compassion and unconditional love. So imagine being wrapped in it, comforted by it, knowing that we have this sense of spirituality and connection within, and it's increased and recharged when we share that connection. So then come on up to a seated position, bring your hands to prayer at heart space. And take a moment to honor that inner wisdom, the place underneath our worries, the place underneath our fears, our judgments, the place below judging ourselves as right or wrong. And then from here, send out compassion and kindness out into our community. May we all know love and connection. May all beings be peaceful and at ease. Thank you for joining us.